everybody, welcome to a special edition of Seattle Refined. As we take you behind the scenes here in our offices, we're taking a look back at all the cool stories that we've done, and we crank out a lot of content, and nobody does it better than these guys right here, our Seattle Refined team. So guys, I'm gonna leave it up to you. What were your favorite stories for 2018?
Well, some of my personal favorites this year have been the ones Malia's done, actually, because you interview a lot of celebrities like Bill Pullman, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Danny Bonaducci. So I personally want to know, out of all the ones you've done this year, which one was your favorite?
Well, I've loved them all, but there's one celebrity who actually grew up here who is music to my ears, and that is Kenny G. I came out of that shoot in a complete swoon with a huge crush. I even got a picture with him. And as you can see, it's the biggest picture up at my desk. I mean, he was charming, he was smart, he was funny, he was just amazing.
I was here when you guys came back from that shoot, and I've never seen two human embodiments of the heart eye emoji. You and Ty were both smitten kitten.
I wouldn't say I had a crush, but I was a bit enchanted. I mean, I thought this was gonna be like a goofy story to tell my buds, but I walked away thinking like, is it too late in life to learn the saxophone?
Will you do a little bit of Songbird?
That's easy.
That's why all the girls were swooning over you all the
Well,
time.
maybe so.
How many babies have been made to that song?
No, I don't know. Ask my attorney.
Those smooth sounds could only belong to Seattle's own Kenny G. For more than 4 decades, the saxophonist has been the Pied Piper of jazz, captivating audiences all over the world with his music. 1986's Songbird was his first bona fide hit.
But it's a really special song also because I performed it on the Johnny Carson show, and that exposure was so big, and nobody had heard music like that. Fortunately for me, they reacted well to it, and so I got a career out of it.
He may not be one to toot his own horn, but Kenny G is the biggest selling instrumental musician of the modern era, with over 75 million albums sold.
So you are one of the best-selling artists of all time, right? I mean, does that blow your mind?
Yeah, that does blow my mind, yeah.
It all started when Kenny Gorelick attended Seattle's Franklin High, and his band teacher tapped him to fill in on soul singer Barry White's tour.
Back in the 70s, he was big. He was as big as they got. You know, I was in his little orchestra for 3 gigs. So I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. I got paid. I'm playing my sax. So I'll just keep trying to do this.
In 1982, Kenny signed his first major label contract with Arista. In an era of MTV synthpop, Kenny's sound was a breath of fresh air. The hits kept coming with songs like The Moment, Going Home, and Silhouette. And it wasn't just his horn that made him famous, it was also that hair.
Back in the 80s, 90s, let me ask you this. Who had better hair, you or Michael Bolton?
Oh, my hair was way better than Michael Bolton. I mean, I'll say that. I mean, his hair was long, but it didn't have the right, it didn't have the right conditioning.
What about you and Richard Marx? He also had some nice hair.
My hair was way better than his. He had that
mullet.
Mullet, yeah. By the way, we're still friends. He's interested in flying, and I'm a pilot.
You're a pilot.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he wants to go flying with me, but he's a little nervous.
Flying and golf are his passions, but for Kenny G, discipline is the name of the game.
It's 1 in a million to have a career like mine.
Yeah.
It just is. It doesn't matter how good you are.
Yeah.
Just like, things happen. The stars line up, and something magical happen,
And we got Kenny G.
yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, you got him. He was made.
He was made to make music.
That's right, I was actually, and to spread this beautiful, beautiful music.
Moving on from Kenny G, I didn't fall in love on my favorite story of 2018, but I did fall. I went skydiving and I took my wife and my mom along for moral support. Not gonna lie, I was straight up terrified, but it turned out to be one of the coolest experiences of my life.
We are currently airborne. About to jump out of this perfectly good airplane. Not gonna lie, a little nervous, but I got my man Vlad with me. He's a pro, so we're about to go have a little adventure.
That was freaking crazy, man. I jumped from 13,500 feet, which is absolutely insane to think about. You kind of just crawl toward the door and all of a sudden your feet are hanging out of a moving aircraft and you cross your arms and you just go. But once you realize that this fall is happening, that they've got you, that you're in control, you kind of just look out and can see for miles and miles, and it is the craziest view. And once that chute hits, just like a release, you're like, okay. You go from, I think it's 120 miles an hour to about 20 miles an hour, like that.
And now, pull right, more down. Yeah, and we go right, pull more, we go faster. More, we go faster. Okay, now we go like crazy.
Whoa! Skydive Snohomish was unbelievable. Yeah! Everyone here makes you feel really comfortable with the process. I think I was actually more nervous on the ground than I was when we got into the air. That was crazy, man. That was absolutely nuts. This sits at my desk as a certificate of achievement, because when you've jumped out of a plane from over 13,000 feet, you want a little remembrance of it, just so you know you can really accomplish anything if you put your mind to it.
I'm proud of you, dude. You did it. You actually did it.
So Brandon, you're a pretty cool, calm and collected guy, but before you went skydiving, he came in and said he was loaded up on Imodium.
Better safe than sorry.
Coming up,
The thing about Gaard is he loves eating food when we're on shoots.
the Refined team doesn't hold back as they share more secrets from behind the scenes. Plus,
We knew they'd be really opening up and talking about, you know, their life and their career, but they really opened up as a couple.
the story about the powerhouse sports couple that tops the list of Refined favorites. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Seattle Refined. I'm Gaard Swanson, and man, this is the coolest show that we've done in a long time as we take a look back at some of our favorite stories that we did for 2018. And we looked at Kenny G, we had Brandon jumping out of an airplane, but oh man, that is just the tip of the iceberg. Guys, what else do we have?
My favorite one of the year, personally, I produced a segment, our Party 3 segment with Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe, this powerhouse Seattle sports couple. They didn't do a lot of interviews with anybody, but they did it with us, and we knew they'd be really opening up and talking about, you know, their life and their career, but they really opened up as a couple, and they were so funny, and we walked away from that shoot, just had a newfound respect for them as a couple and just people in general.
You obviously just came out in the last year publicly, whereas you have been for several years. Was there any reasoning behind that? Did you have any influence on that?
Yeah, I happened to meet Megan, and Megan kind of opened my eyes to this other side of it, which was, you know, that there's like a very high value in somebody who's a public figure, you know, coming out and talking about their sexuality and what that means for kids, for society. I never really looked at it that way because, in all honesty, I was out for all, you know, intents and purposes. Everybody in my life knew. You know, I joked earlier, it's like that article came out, nobody on my team even cared. Like, this wasn't news.
Right.
You know, but
It wasn't one of those cases. There was no like big hidden box of shame or something that you were like carrying around. It was just kind of, you're just a private person in general.
Yeah, but then she kind of showed me this other side to it. So that was basically what motivated it. I mean, I do joke that at that point we had been seen publicly together, and Megan is like poster child of gayness. So I know it was like everyone would be like, oh, they're hanging out. Oh, what's going on?
And my sister at one point, my twin sister, she was like, well, I mean, like, when is it gonna come out? Because like, you're really gay. And, like, I was like, I don't know. It can't last for that long. I don't know.
There are so many people that look up to you. There are women, there are athletes, there are members of the LGBTQ community that look up to you guys. Is that hard?
I think when you put it like that, sometimes when it sort of take a step back, it can be like that, but I think also this is just our life, and this is, you know, I guess I'll speak for myself, it's just my life and what I'm used to, and
you know, with all of that comes a lot of really amazing things, and you get to meet amazing people and have incredible experiences and do something that you love for a living. So it's kind of like take a little bit of pressure with all of the wonderful things that come along with it, and it kind of just feels natural.
And then, you know, there's billboards and stuff.
Right,
so
exactly.
That makes it so normal.
We got some for that.
Oh my God. Tons of it.
People are jealous of our shine.
From everybody you could possibly think of.
Yeah. Cool billboard.
Was it your idea to market the two of you guys together? Were you approached by your teams?
Well, our teams now are kind of working in conjunction, like the business side of things. So I think it was their brainchild. And I think it's more like they picked, you know, one of the more well-known players from one team and one of the more well-known players from the other team and put them on the billboard. No, I do. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we happen to be dating. So, but I don't think it would have been different.
I was like, you know, the 30th person on the bench, and it was like I was dating Sue, and they put both of us on the billboard. We would have said no.
Makes sense. But it worked.
But it sort of made sense. So
publicly, you have this persona about you, but what's something we might not know about the other person? Any hidden quirks or talents other than basketball?
She's a really good dancer, like interpretive dance. It's not a joke.
yeah, I should have been a modern dancer.
Yeah?
Like literally.
Oh, wow.
I'm actually really flexible.
You could be in like a
naturally.
Sia video. For sure.
Oh, I would love that.
It's like,
Do you take classes?
No, I just feel it. Yep, it's just, I'm right in here. Yeah, I take shots maybe before. You're also a good dancer, and you know all the lyrics to every song. But
is that a hidden talent?
that is a hidden talent.
Good
yeah, I'll be
memory.
like bopping along. She's like, "What was that you said?" I'm like,
I know. I'm gonna say that again.
I'm
Repeat
like,
that
oh
right
my
now.
God, I don't know.
How to cook awesome food, great conversation. I really appreciate it.
Shout outs to the chef.
Yeah.
Nicole, we see you working back there.
Hey, girl.
Jenna, I absolutely love those in-depth stories we do here at Refined, but you know what? We also do stories here that are, how should I say this, different? Hey, John Prentice, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Gaard, sometimes my beat gets a little offbeat, but the zaniest story I did all year, rubber chickens.
If you live in Seattle, you already know Archie McPhee is your one-stop shop for gnome rubber duckies, safety monitor fezzes, inflatable hammers, and pocket-sized unicorn catchphrase generators. But now, Archie McPhee is home to one of the newest wonders of the world.
And having been to a few places around the world, the Great Pyramids, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, which we didn't see, we were there where they existed, I cannot recall ever having seen anything as bizarre, exciting, as wonderful as this.
The world's only rubber chicken museum, and admission is free.
I'm in awe. I don't even know what to say. This is just blowing my mind.
It's pretty impressive.
Roger, the Duke of Doodads, says the rubber chicken has been an Archie McPhee staple for decades, and this museum is a tribute to the pliable poultry's comic icon status.
A lot of it, actually, we had lying around. But some of it we have had donated in from all across the country.
Like what?
Like the stained glass rubber chicken.
That's art. It's beautiful.
It's pretty amazing. That's a chicken that we found in our warehouse underneath that pallet. It's actually, we think it's haunted. It's a
Why is
haunted.
it here? Why are we near it?
It's funny.
Sure, there's a Santa chicken, a counterfeit chicken, the world's largest rubber chicken, and
the world's smallest rubber chicken.
That's amazing.
It is very tiny.
And where did this come from?
That's a mystery.
As far as rubber chickens go, I feel highly enlightened. I didn't know that there were so many different kinds.
What's your favorite item that you've seen in the case?
Well, definitely that face there, the surprised chicken.
Those are the squeaking rubber chickens, and then the one with the blue ribbon is our champion rubber chicken. And it has the loudest squeak.
It's pretty loud.
It's very loud.
And that's not all.
So what would you say is the crown jewel of this collection?
Well, the one that's special to most Seattleites is the JP Patches and Gertrude signed rubber chicken.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
After retrieving your jaw from the floor, be sure to exit through the Rubber Chicken gift shop. There's Rubber Chicken pins, t-shirts, candles, socks, scarves, finger puppets, or bring home your very own Rubber Chicken. There's one for every budget, and folks here say no home is complete without one.
My son, when he was probably 3 to 8, 10 years old, he slept with a rubber chicken. He got the humor of it, and he had a rubber chicken, and that's what he slept with.
John Prentice, Seattle Refined.
Coming up, it's time to pick my favorite Refined moment that had me rocking out.
When you guys were all dressed up in your Kiss outfits, I remember he popped on your desk, Jenna, and started parading around and caused a whole scene, and it was wild.
Oh man, I remember that story. Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm Gaard Swanson. Our Refined team is picking our favorite stories that we've done in 2018. And man, this show has been terrific. But it doesn't stop there, right?
Yeah, so we all know that Gaard's a bit of a handful. So I think it's time to put you in the hot seat.
Really?
What are some of your favorite Gaard Swanson moments?
Gaard's a guy who's not afraid to get his hands dirty. This is the man who convinced the owner of a multi-million-dollar home to jump off the roof with him.
What haven't we done yet today?
We have not used the deep pool.
That's right. Let's go do it.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
He also loves to give a good nickname. Whether you like it or not, you're getting a nickname from Gaard.
All right, Scooter. Can I call you Scooter now?
No. Not at all.
The thing about Gaard is he loves eating food when we're on shoots, and more than that, he loves feeding food to other people. So we'll be with him, and they'll be with like a restaurant owner or something, and he'll be like, want a bite? You want a bite? And it doesn't matter if they want a bite. They're gonna get a bite.
You have 3 seconds to make a decision on what you're going to take a bite of first. Go. Get it. Come on.
You have to hand it to Gaard. He commits, whether it works out or not. I mean, you want him to eat a scorpion, he'll eat a scorpion. You jump off a roof, ride a roller coaster that he's scared of. And then when we asked him, we want you to dress up as Kiss, the band, the guy fully committed.
Gaard! Woo! Oh. When you guys were all dressed up in your Kiss outfits, I remember he popped on your desk, Jenna, and started parading around and caused a whole scene, and it was wild.
When we dressed up like Gene Simmons, oh man, and Brandon and I and a couple of sales guys, we go over to the Seattle Center. It was nothing but bedlam. They loved us. I actually felt like a rock star. We'll be right back. All right, we're just about finished with this show on Seattle Refined as we're taking a look back at some of our coolest stories that we've done in 2018. But part of the big team here is Britt Thorson. She's the managing editor of seattlerefined.com, and also Gena Wyncoop. Hey, Gena! These two ladies work so hard to make it work on our digital side, and let's talk a little bit about it.
One of my favorite stories this year was a profile on Thelma and Louise, which were 2 dogs who were found in the middle of the field out in eastern Washington, 8 puppies between them. These dogs were so terrified they were catatonic, and they could not find homes for the life of them. And we wrote up articles, did social media, had them here, had them on the show, trying to find them homes, and slowly but surely, those ladies finally found homes, and they are living happily ever after with their forever home. And that's the kind of stories that I love, 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 love.
So one of my favorites is the Documenting Love series. So it is a series that runs once a week, and it's local couples that document their love story in depth, how they met, how they fell in love, all the good stuff. And then a photographer comes in and takes pictures, and they're just beautiful, and it makes me believe in love again.
Guys, I love what you're doing over on seattlerefined.com. Hey, before we go, we got a little bit of business left. Let's have the whole team say goodbye here from Seattle Refined. Guys, come on in. Hey, all right. See you next time right here on Seattle Refined.
Thanks for watching.
That worked? One more?
Cut.